is supposed to be a break, but for many GCSE students, it's a bit of a mix. Some either do absolutely nothing and fall behind by the time the new school year starts in September, or others do too much and end up burning out. But what if I told you that there's a simple way to use the summer to boost your grades without the burnout or overwhelm? So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to structure your summer so you walk into September calm, confident, and ahead of the game. Hi there, my name is Sylvia Browne. I'm the lead tutor at the Impact Academy, and I've helped hundreds of students boost their GCSE Maths and Science grades, often by 2 or more levels. Now, imagine you were going on a journey. So let's just say you were driving from London to Scotland. You were going on a family trip. You wouldn't just jump in the car and head off, right? So your family would make sure that you prepare for that journey. They'll make sure that as much as possible, you pack food with you, or at least you have enough money to get food on the way. But then also check things like the tires, the oils, the brake, and of course, take a sat nav with you as well to prepare for any breakdowns. Now, that planning time, just 20%, if even that, it saves hours of stress later and helps with a smooth journey. Well, this is exactly the same thing when it comes to GCSE exams. Students need to implement those 20% of strategies like time management, like planning, to help them to get 80%, to help them to get the 80% result. Unfortunately, most students don't do that though. They jump straight into the revision and the content with no plan. By doing that, they end up being stuck, frustrated, stressed, overwhelmed, and they lose motivation quickly. And then what some students do is they end up giving up midway, or they just rely on learning the same content that they are comfortable with. And that's what we don't want for you. So today I'm going to show you how to create a simple, powerful study plan over the summer that is going to set you up for year 11 success without that overwhelm. So the first step to creating that summer plan is to get clear on what you need to revise, because you can't plan if you don't know what you need to revise. That means you need to know the content. You need to know for your specific exam board, what content do I need to cover? How much is it, right? How long is it going to take me to cover this content? And you need to be able to plan to cover everything between now, so the summer holidays, and your exams. Now, there are 2 ways you can do this. The first way is the best way, but the most time-consuming way, and that is looking at your specification. So just search online for whatever your specification is. So if it's a combined science trilogy, search for that and you will get the specification will come up. Then you just need to you need to take the time and go through the content, the learning outcomes, and also go through the specific topics that you need to know for each subject. The second way to do this, and the easiest way, and what I recommend, is just referring to the learning outcomes in your student book. So your student book at the top left-hand corner or bottom right-hand corner, you would see, depending on whether you're doing it Excel or AQA, you would see it'll say something like learning outcomes or progression questions. These are essentially the learning outcomes that you need to know. They're not always 100% on par with the specification, but they are good enough. So you want to have a look at those, because that will tell you what you need to cover, and combine that with the contents page, because you can have a quick breeze through the contents page and go, okay, these are the topics. These are the main topics that I need to know. So what we've done there is we've looked at what content we need to cover, but now you need to go, well, how can I plan to cover everything by the exam? So here's what you do. Get yourself your student book, the one from the specification, open up the book to the contents page. So for instance, you can see on the right-hand side there, just taking a snippet of the combined science trilogy contents page. So open it up to that contents page, and that would give you an idea of how much topic you need to cover. Then count the number of units. So With the combined science one, there's about 17 units. Plan a date that you need to stop revision. That's the wrong one. You need to stop that hardcore learning of the content, because you're going to revise right through the exam, because you revise means you're going to revisit everything. So you want to plan a date where you can stop that hardcore learning and trying to understand and trying to get things into your memory. So let's just say you started, end of August, beginning of September. Between September and March, because you want to start by March is a good time, because then from April, you're not really learning per se, you're just revisiting the content and just checking that I remember this, and still trying to get them into your long-term memory, and also practicing other skills like application skills, exam questions. So that would give you 6 months between September and March. So for chemistry, for biology, there's about 17 topics there, 17 units. Divide that 17 by 6, because it's 6 months, and that means you need to cover about 3 topics a month. Can you see, when you look at it like that, for me just saying that, I'm like, that's a lot, right? And that's just biology. It's going to be similar in chemistry, it's going to be similar in physics, it's going to be similar in maths, right? So it's really important for you to do this, just so you have an idea of the depth and the breadth of how much you need to cover. So why is this important? You get an overview, a bird's eye view, a general idea of what you need to cover, but also by when, right? So you can say September to March, I can cover these 3 topics. September to March, September, October, November. September to November, I can cover these 3 topics. December, January, February, I can cover these 3 topics, right? Can you see how that would just really help you? One thing I forgot to mention there actually is, obviously, don't forget to take breaks. Don't just try to learn things all the way through. Christmas, for instance, is a lovely time to take breaks and spend time with your family. So you get that overview and you're able to see the big picture. And this is really key, because you now know when you need to put your foot on the gas, because you're like, 3 topics a month, that's a lot. So 3 of those mini topics, that's a lot. I've really got to get my foot on the gas. Or you can have a look and go, oh, I'm okay, I can ease a little bit. Okay, so it just really helps with your planning. Now, please do not skim this simple step. It's very, very important. It's going to serve you in the long run. It is often the simple things that students skip because it seems very simple, but actually many times the simple things are what's going to help you the most. If you feel you need more help planning all your GCSE subjects so that you can get ahead by September, then I created a course called the Study Plan Fundamentals Your Child Needs to Ace Their GCSEs. So inside that course, you'll get a study plan template for all your subjects that you can easily amend. You'll get a step-by-step revision planner that will help you identify exactly what topics you need to cover, show you how to revise these topics for maximum benefit, and how to manage your time effectively. So check the description down below for that. Now, on to step 2 of creating that study plan is that you need to plan your weekly focus areas. So once you know the big picture, you need to zoom in and know what you need to focus on that week. So essentially, you need to be able to see a few steps ahead of you. You've now planned months ahead, but you need to be able to see a few steps ahead, a couple of days ahead, and weeks ahead. So you need to plan a few steps ahead, and you need to plan how to revise for maximum retention. And a simple way to do this is just a quick mini assessment to identify not only the subjects that you need to focus on the most, the ones you struggle with the most, but also the topics as well. You can rely on trusting your instincts and judgments. A better way is to use a checklist. So you could use that RAG checklist, red, amber, green, to help you to hone in on the topics that you need more help with. And from there, every week, just choose 1 to 2 subtopics to focus on. So every 1 to 2 mini topics to focus on. Then you want to be able to revise these topics for maximum retention. So let's just say you're doing rate of reaction. The best way to revise them would be you doing graph-based questions rather than just simply watching a video or, reading through your book. Depending on the topic, you'll need to know what would be the most effective strategy. If you're doing like a required practical, writing out the method from memory is a really good way to help with your learning. So take the time to plan not only what you would study, but also how you will study them for maximum benefit. So this step really has two steps in one. Okay, so in terms of planning what we are studying, why is planning important? Because you're able to identify your weaker topics, and also you're also able to plan how you can study for these weak topics as well. And so there's quite a lot of strategic learning here, so that you're really focusing on the right things and not just what you're comfortable with, because you've had that plan. And you're learning for maximum efficiency. So not just what to focus on, but how to get the best, how to get the most out of that. This is really key for motivation, because once you've planned, there's no friction. But I don't know what to study today, or I'm just confused, or I don't know where to start. No, you've planned, it's all there. As long as you've had a good plan, a good planning, structured planning system, boom, you can just go straight into it. It also helps with stress and anxiety, because for me, I find that once I've planned something, I'm halfway there, right? Again, it's that 80-20% rule. Just 20% of the planning means you're halfway there. You can then just be able to get on with things on it. And it's really just going to help minimize that anxiety, because you know where you are. As I said, you know when to put your foot on the gas, when to take it off, and so on and so forth. So 20% of planning will help you get that 80% of results. And planning is one of the biggest things that you need, if you're a parent watching this, that your child needs to do if they really want to jump to 3 grades. The third step of planning, which I've talked about already, but I'm just going to kind of quickly go through it here as a third step, is really making sure you are studying the right way. So planning is only powerful if it includes how to study, not just what to study. So firstly, you've got to identify those weaker topics, which we talk about, so you know what to work on every week. Then you've got to revise smartly. So using the best learning method, that would give you the best results. And I've talked about things like blurting, you could do practice questions. And you need to link that with organization and time management. So make sure you're scheduling it in your timetable or whatever scheduling system that you use, so that you actually have that motivation and you don't want to end up giving up halfway. So why does this matter? Well, we find that I have found, working with several students, hundreds of students over the years, is that the students who plan well, they focus on the right topics, they focus on the key topics. They study more efficiently, they feel less anxious, less stressed, and they progress faster. So planning is one of the biggest reasons our students jump two to three grades. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to pause the video and grab the Study Plan Fundamentals course, which I'm going to put in the description below. It includes everything you need to build a long-term revision strategy that actually works. So the Study Plan Fundamental course, you'll get a study plan template. It's already filled in, but you can easily amend it based on where you are. And from that, you'll know how many topics you need to cover and by when. You'll also get a revision planner. So in a revision planner, you will learn how to identify your weaker topics. So you know exactly which topics to focus on day by day and week by week. You would also learn how to revise these topics for maximum benefit, as well as how to manage your time effectively. And there's also a step-by-step walkthrough videos showing you exactly how to use them. You also have a study plan bundle. So that includes timetable templates, videos, how to create a timetable that actually works. And what I've done is I've also put in there like an example of a bad timetable. So one that isn't going to work very well for you, because you need to know how to use a timetable that you will actually stick to, and a good timetable, right? So you will know exactly which timetable to use, how to use the right timetable, and how to schedule things into your timetable. So pause, that will be in the description down below. Download it if you're a parent watching this, sit with your child and do it together. It's one of the most powerful 30 minutes you'll spend this summer. All right, so now that you have your summer plan started, The next thing is you're going to want to know how to develop a winning mindset for success in year 11. So there'll be a video coming up. Check that video out, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.